43-year-old man is shot and killed in Hartford. What we know about the ongoing investigation coming up in a live report.
Good morning. It is Wednesday, April 29th. Happy Wednesday. Thanks for starting your day off with us here at Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus. I'm Erica Arias.
And I'm Bridget Gurley. Hope your morning's off to a great start. Halfway through the work week, and the weather continues to be nice. A little cooler today, Rachel, but nothing too bad.
No, today is going to be, and there's nothing noticeably different about today with the exception of a little bit more cloud coverage throughout. Temperatures move into the upper 60s this afternoon for areas inland, cooler at the shore. It's going to be dry today with periods of rain as we head through the overnight hours. Satellite and radar picture now starting off mostly clear. It's not a bad start to our morning, but back off to the west of us now is a disturbance that's going to bring us the clouds first and then eventually a period of rain overnight. Temperatures in the 40s now at 47 in Bridgeport, 40 in New Haven, 43 in Waterbury, out the door in Willimantic, around 43 as well. Heading through the next 12 hours or so, there really isn't any weather issues expected. Winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, increasing clouds for the back half of the day. It's a different story for tomorrow morning. It's going to look a lot different. We'll have some rounds of rain through the morning commute, wrapping up through the midday period. Cloudy skies take over for the second half of the day, and we will be on the cooler side, and that's going to set the stage for what is a cooler stretch of weather as we head into this upcoming weekend. So it's partly to a mostly clear sky now for the kids at the bus stop for the ride home. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 60s under a cloudy sky. 62 degrees over in Derby, so cooler at the shoreline. 66 for Southington this morning, or rather tonight, and then 68 degrees in Windham, 57 degrees in Groton. Overnight tonight, we'll drop those numbers into the mid 40s. It'll be a warmer but mild and really just a damp start to our day tomorrow, up around 60 degrees for Thursday, 62 with more sun around for Friday. We'll talk about where we go from here. Your full 7-day forecast coming up in just a bit. A quiet morning commute so far here at 6:02. A live look outside over in Hartford. A lot of the road work we were following has wrapped up here in the 6 o'clock hour. So as you're traveling on 84 into downtown, there's no significant delays, and that's reflected in your drive time this morning. New Britain Ave to the Hartford Tunnel, 7 minutes, and then through downtown from the East Hartford area is around 6. Bridgeport into Fairfield, 11 minutes. Your travel speed southbound 95, 34 miles per hour. Over to you.
Rachel, thanks. Well, we're staying on top of breaking news from overnight in Hartford. Police are investigating a homicide on Roe near Capitol Avenue. We're checking in with Fox 61's Erin Coogan. She's there live at the scene. And Erin, you just found out some new information about the victim in this case.
Well, guys, we've learned a 43-year-old man was shot and killed early this morning. Police say as of now, a suspect has not been taken into custody. He was found in the street. I want to give you some perspective here. Just moments ago, police cleared the final caution tape here at the intersection of Capitol Avenue and Roe Avenue. They say calls came in from neighbors around 1:45 this morning of several shots fired and a man down again in the street on Roe Avenue. They say at least 7 shots were fired. That victim was rushed to the hospital where he later died. Again, no suspect as of now is in custody. And as we've reported earlier this morning, this is a residential neighborhood, a lot of apartment buildings, multifamily homes. But as of now, police say they do not believe that victim lived in the area. So we don't know as of now what he was doing here, his possible connection to a suspect or a motive at this point. That's why investigators are here and will be here throughout much of the day. But they have cleared, again, the road on Capitol Avenue. It had been closed to traffic for several hours, again, since 1:45 this morning. They do say extra police will be in the area. They do have the major crimes unit still here canvassing, knocking door to door, seeing if anyone heard those shots fired. Again, 7 shots fired as of early this morning. They are not clear as of how many actually hit that victim. No identity has been released at this point. But of course, as we learn more, we're going to have it for you on air and online at fox61.com. Guys.
All right, Erin, thanks for the update. Check back with you in about 30 minutes from now. Meantime, a 19-year-old woman was shot in Hartford last night. It happened on Westland Street. Police say her injuries were non-life-threatening. The investigation is still in its early stages. No word yet if police are looking for any people of interest.
Happening today, a former Avon daycare worker accused of sexually assaulting a child last month is set to appear in court. Jan Carlos Barrios Otera appears in court following a recent increase in the number of charges against him. He now faces multiple counts of 4th-degree sexual assault and risk of injury to a minor involving at least 5 children. The 29-year-old was initially arrested on April 1st after allegations surfaced involving a 4-year-old boy. This happened at the Bright Path Early Learning and Child Care Center in Avon.
A new tax assessment in East Hampton is making a substantial impact on people's wallets. One maple syrup business says his property taxes are going up 65%. That's significant. Fox 61's Glenn Kittle joins us live in East Hampton this morning with more on what it means for the farmer and the greater impact these tax increases have on the town. 65%, that is pretty steep, Glenn.
Good morning, Bridget. Yeah, it's just an absolutely crazy tax increase for that property owner. As a matter of fact, for the majority of East Hampton properties that are hit with this, it's about an average of an 18% tax bill increase that goes into effect this coming July. Now, according to town officials, they say a volatile real estate market is causing these massive tax increases, which happen every 5 years in East Hampton. Now, those same officials are also saying that they understand the difficulties of a higher tax bill. However, this is a necessary step to keep the town functioning properly as costs rise across the board in a demanding economy. Now, for maple syrup maker Richard Washington, this makes owning a small business on his 1-acre property insanely expensive. His taxes have gone up, like you said, 65%, and having that smaller property means he does not qualify for the town's standards for the right to farm tax break, even though he's a registered farm with the state of Connecticut and the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Now, Walker says this tax increase could put him out of business.
Or what they are going to charge me for the new property tax at 65% higher. There's no way that I can keep the business going. It's very difficult because this is something that I grew up working for a lot of sugar houses up in my hometown of Elston, New Hampshire. And I knew sugar and up one side and down the other side.
Now, Walker hopes that the town will reinstate its agricultural commission and keep those farms going that are the same property sizes as his. However, that was on the table during Tuesday night's proposal. Now, we're going to see if the officials do end up going through with that. However, Walker says that he needs the town to consider his property a farm by June 1st, or he could go out of business. Live in East Hampton, Glenn Kittle, Fox 61.
All right, Glenn, thanks. You feel for him. Small businesses have a hard time already, and this is only going to make things worse. Thanks for the update there. Well, meantime, as schools across the state struggle to find tens of millions of dollars in funding, the governor says he's providing towns and cities with an additional $270 million. Now, one of the districts with the largest budget deficit is Hartford Public Schools. Fox 61's Valerie Moravi was at a Board of Ed meeting last night and got more information on those advocating for education funding.
This school year, the Hartford Public Schools deficit is $22 million and is only expected to increase next year to around $52 million. Now, parents and school officials are asking the city to provide one-time funding to support operations for all schools for both fiscal years. The Hartford Board of Education says it has already cut tens of millions of dollars and more than 400 roles in the past 3 years alone. And further cuts will jeopardize student learning. Parents, teachers, and students took the stand to ask the city to carefully consider its decision on the budget crisis and potential cuts.
I took a closer look at the proposed budget, and I was alarmed to see that the librarian position is being cut. A librarian. That's not a small cut. That's a statement about priorities.
In years past, you've seen many of us at Board of Education meetings. You've seen many of us here, and we're here again. And with that extra $270 million, maybe some of the positions will be saved tonight, but maybe they'll be back on the chopping block next year. And we need to prevent that.
Mayor, Hartford Public Schools is about to fail without your help. And yet you refuse to use even 1 cent of the city's emergency fund to help mitigate the crisis impacting our schools.
Your time has expired.
Why reverse course now?
The school officials say they're focusing on specific legislative advocacy solutions to increase fiscal sustainability for all Hartford public schools. Meanwhile, Hartford Mayor Arunam Arulampalam says the city will do everything in its power to address the budget crisis.
I called the governor, and I called the speaker, and I called the leader of the Senate. And we've been working really collaboratively to try to come up with a solution to meet that budget deficit, because I am determined with every bone in my body to make sure that this is can finally be a year where we don't see teachers and paraeducators and staff members laid off in schools, where it's schools where our kids are, classrooms where our kids are, don't see cuts.
School officials say one-time funding from the city's fund balance of about $74 million is what is needed to support 2027 fiscal year operations. Another factor that may help, additional funding from the state. Governor Nela Mund announced an additional $170 million in school funding and an additional $100 million in municipal aid from the state's Affordability Fund. It's not clear right now how much the Hartford Public Schools could receive. Now, the City Council is expected to review this plan and adopt the budget by May 21st. In Hartford, Valerie Moravi, Fox 61.
Happening today, a teenager is due in court after police say he left an illegal gun unattended inside a vehicle and a child got a hold of it. Farmington police officers say the 10-year-old shot himself in the leg. It happened in the parking lot of an apartment complex on Forest Park Drive yesterday. Police arrested 19-year-old Jordan Cruz on gun charges. It is unclear this morning how he obtained the weapon. Now advocates say more needs to be done to protect kids from guns.
If anyone owns a gun or a firearm, it's enormously important that it is put in a gun safe and that the ammunition is stored separately from the guns. Please talk to your pediatrician if your children are around guns, because we can help you get some of those things into your home to keep you and your children safe from any harm.
And again, this suspect did not have the gun legally. Police say the 10-year-old is expected to recover. President Trump hosted a state dinner in honor of King Charles and Queen Camilla. The president and first lady welcomed the royals to the White House yesterday on what was day 2 of their 4-day visit to the United States. The dinner followed a speech King Charles delivered to Congress earlier in the day. Then at dinner, President Trump had these words for the King and Queen.
I sincerely thank you to our friends, the United Kingdom, for the richest inheritance that any nation has ever given to another. May our two countries stand together forever for liberty, for justice, and for the glory of God.
The royals are in the U.S. on a diplomatic mission to help mend relations with the U.K. and the U.S. and to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States.
All right, stick with us. We have a lot more to come here on Fox 61 this morning. Nova Adventure Park has a new policy when it comes to supervision. What parents need to know about these changes.
And New York City's first full casino is now open. A closer look at the expanded gambling area in the Big Apple. Stay with us. You're watching Fox 61 Morning News.